Hi, this is Dr. Michelle Pedicola, and welcome to day 4 of the 5-day Out of the Box Facebook Challenge. How are you doing so far? Are you doing your video assignments? Thus far, you should have had a baseline video, you should have a people pleaser video, and you should have a controller video. We're going to do a different video today, but before we do that, we're going to talk a little bit about what's been showing up. Now, yesterday, you probably were aware of some of the resistances that show up. But now you want to start noticing some of the insights that show up. Like what goes on in your mind before you do something out of the box. Are there thoughts in your head that say, well, I don't know if I really want to do this. Is this really right? Do you rehearse before you do something? Or does it just pop up in your head? So that's the first thing I want you to focus on is how is it showing up in your life when you go step out of the box? What do you think before you step out of the box? What is going on in your head? And then, even more importantly, what happens after you step out of the box? How do you feel? Do you feel elated? Do you feel excited? Or do you feel judgmental? Do you look at that video and say, maybe I should do it over again? How far are you willing to go out of the box? Can you push the edge a little bit further? These are the insights that you want to start to develop. And you should be keeping a journal, writing down some of the things that are showing up, or at least put them in the worksheet that you get every day. Write down the things that you notice, because this is how you change. You don't just do things, you also have to reflect on them. If you don't learn from your behavior, if you don't learn from your action, you aren't going to get anywhere. You actually need to reflect, to notice how it's feeling. Do you do a special kind of ritual before you step out of the box? Do you deep breathe, for example? So those are all the kinds of things I want you to be focusing on today. What do I notice about myself? How am I changing? So we get to try that out today. You're going to do another video, and this time you're going to be working on the archetype I call the performer. So the performer is a little like the pleaser in that the performer wants people to love them, but they do it in a way which is big. Pleasers are more small, little mousy-like people that kind of want you to feed them cheese. Performers are sort of more grandiose and expansive and dramatic and exciting and interesting, but they are also still reaching out to the world to affirm them. Whereas the controller, they're more interested in control. They're more interested in safety. They're more interested in, well, you know what? If you don't like me, well, that's fine. That's just fine. Goodbye. They are not going to waste any time on your discomfort. But the performer may be interested in what you have to say. And even if they pretend that they're not, even if they pretend that they're way beyond that and they're grandiose, they're still going to care. Performers, they really worry about the reviews. So how can you show up in your video, in your who am I, what do I do video, being the performer? One of the things that I've noticed when I'm into that performance mode is that I tend to be super bright, super energetic, super fun, and maybe a little loud, a little exuberant, maybe a little too exuberant, a little over dramatic. So those are the kinds of things that you want to put into your video when you do this next video challenge. Is how can you make it more exuberant, more dramatic? How can you talk about yourself? Now, there are different ways of being dramatic. There's in the Enneagram the type 4 dramatic, which is the femme fatale. It's like, actually they tend to be more controllers rather than performers. And then there are the type 2s, which are more about dressing up and really looking professional. And of course, look at what I've done today. I have totally not dressed professionally at all, have I? But I'm going to give you a different kind of performance. A different kind of performance that is hopefully also enticing. So you want to try it? Shall we try doing the performance archetype? Hi, I'm Dr. Michelle Pedicola of Secrets of Life and Death, and also Second Chance Secrets. These are programs that enable you to transform and recreate your life, particularly after a loss or a divorce or a life transition, like retirement, or maybe your children left home, or maybe you moved across the country and suddenly you have to reinvent yourself, but you don't know how to do that. You're not quite sure. And you would like some support in helping you to really uncover who you really are. And that's what I would like to provide you with. And I know a lot about that because I've been helping people through life transitions for over 20 years. I've worked particularly with people around significant losses. And I know the resistance people have to changing their lives because it's hard to let go of what it was before. Now, when you actually have a loss, you can't go back. Well, guess what? You can't go back now either. Now, we all hope that the pandemic will end and that we will be able to go back to the way things were before. But I believe that Pandora's box has been opened and the new dangers have been released. Will we ever be able to feel safe again? Will that COVID-19 virus or some variation of it still be existing? You know, we can't even form immunities from it. So who knows how long we're going to be in this arena. And you need to reach your people. You need to find a new way of reaching your people. And that's what this Facebook challenge is. And that is what Second Chance Secrets is all about, is finding out what is essential about you. Finding out what your resistances are, what your behavior patterns are that prevent you from connecting with your perfect clients. And part of the training that I do in Second Chance certification is teach you how to enroll so that you don't have to get on a phone call with somebody who does not really want your services. Can you imagine anything more obnoxious than being on a phone call with somebody where you're trying to trick them or shame them into signing up with you? That is like so old school. It's time for the new order of things. And frankly, there are plenty of people out there that really, really want and are waiting for you. They want you. They want your services. But you have to get out of your own way. And that's what my work is about. Getting out of your way. So that the true person that you are, the true being, the authentic person you are, can show up. So if you want to have a conversation, go ahead and click the link in the box and let's have a conversation. There will be a form for you to fill out that will give you some very, very helpful questions that will help you to clarify what it is that you want, and so that we can use our time together in the most efficient and expedient way. That's all I have for today. How do you like that? Was that a good one? I don't know if I still stayed with the performer, but what I invite you to think about these presentations is taking that concept and putting it in and stepping into that level of energy and seeing what shows up. You may actually find that you like some of what you're doing. So that's what I have for today. Don't forget to fill out your worksheet. Don't forget to post your video in the Facebook group. And don't forget to show up for our QA session at 1:30 Pacific time. And finally, show up tomorrow because we're going to be doing a webinar and we're going to all show up. We're going to celebrate. We're going to talk about what kind of lessons you learned. It's going to be a party, and we're also going to talk about where you're going to go from here. What's your next step? That's it for today. Be brilliant and step out of the box. Bye.